guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining me once again. If you're new here guys, consider subscribing. I have a lot of car content regarding the MQB platform, you know, the Golf R, GTI, Audi S3, A3. Today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking a look at something that you all should be considering doing if you've tuned your car and you need a way to monitor it. In my personal opinion guys, it's a little bit irresponsible to mod your car to such an extent without being able to monitor what the car is doing. So let's get into the video and let's see what we got going on today. Once again guys, thanks for joining in once again. And I know what you guys are thinking. What happened to the dyno? What happened to the ethanol tune? That's for another video guys. I got a little bit of a hiccup that I'm trying to fix at the moment. But I hope to get the ethanol tune done in the next week or so. But like I said, that's for another video. What we're here to talk about today guys is how you can monitor what your car is doing once you've modded it and make sure that it is running safely on a day-to-day basis. In my personal opinion, this is one of the must-have mods you can do for your vehicle. I can't really always just trust the car to work as it is supposed to. As you know, when you mod a car, things can go wrong here and there. And what better way to be able to see what your car is doing and identify potential issues that could be happening. So guys, what I have today, I have the Aeroforce Interceptor gauge. It is a multi-gauge made by Aeroforce Tech. Shout outs to guys at Aeroforce Tech for the great product. Thing about the Aeroforce Interceptor gauge guys, it has the ability to show 4 parameters on the gauge at one time and up to 8 through a cycle. You can put it to view as 1 or 4 or like I said 8. Customization is there for you guys. It's got amazing features like you can do your 0 to 60 time on it. You can plot graphs on it depending on which parameters you choose, and it has the ability to do things like control your fan from the gauge itself and clear codes. So overall guys, I'm really excited to throw this on, so let's unbox this and see what we got in the package. Now before we go ahead and unbox this guy, I just want to say it's going to be a 2-part video. This video right now is going to be mainly consisting of the installation and a quick overview. And I will probably do a second video showing my, my top favorite features of this gauge. So stay on the lookout for that. All right, so let's open this up right here. So here we got the gauge itself. I got mine with a little bit of a silver trim around the bezel there. Quick start guide, some instructions. Got the OBD2 cable. The great thing about this gauge, guys, it's literally just one connection for our vehicle. Just the OBD2 port connection here. It'll power it up and it will receive all the information. This gauge has a crazy amount of parameters available, and I'll probably write a list down in the description of what it can show. I think it's putty or something like that sort. I believe this is to plug the holes if you need to drill the holes to get the wires through for your application. And then we got another wiring here. So now, to add on to this, to mount this onto the actual car, I did go with a gauge pod made by Aeroforce Tech. Now this thing guys is like OEM quality. This thing's insane. So it's to the side and take a look at this. So if you look at this, look at the finish on this guys. I'm actually really impressed with this. This looks great. For you guys that like an OEM plus finish for your car, guys, this is a great option. The quality is on point here, and yeah, there's the whole opening there for the wires. And yeah, when I throw this on, I'll show you guys the differences between this and the OEM vent and how close it is in quality. All right guys, so first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to pop this vent piece out. So you're going to need a trim piece tool. So get the most the slimmest, most narrow one you got, and just pry along the edges. There you go, just like that guys. So as I was saying earlier, if you look at the finish on the actual OEM vent piece compared to this. This finish is actually pretty amazing for what it is. You're gonna get a near close to OEM Plus look with this, and you know it does look pretty clean on the where it sits right now. It's good angle to the actual driver, and you know what, guys, I'm excited to put this on. So now that we have this piece out, let's take a closer look inside and see what we need to do. I believe we need to drill a hole in here. I'm just going to see the location of where I can drill it, and we'll show you guys that. Next thing we actually need to do before that, to get a better idea, we can actually pop off the side panel here. I'm going to use the same trim tool. Just use it to lift and separate the clips. It's good to separate the clips all around before you pull off. Just to make sure there's no other pinch points. Okay, I think most of the clips are free. I should be able to pull this right off. Okay, so now that we have access here, we can find a good way to route the wire through and for it to reach the OBD port, which is just under right here. All right, so getting a closer look, essentially what we have to do, guys, we need to find a way to get this OBD2 wire to connect from over here in the vent. It needs to pass through. I think we got to drill a hole probably on the side here and kind of route the wire into the space right here. So I'll probably get it if I drill out the side, I can route it over here and we can pass it through here. And you see this little gap over here? Let me try to get my hand through there if you can see it. I'll probably sneak the OBD2 cable through here and plug it to the port, which is located right here. So guys, there's no way around it, guys. You're gonna have to drill, and I believe that's why they include the putty. The putty is to make sure that once you drill, you plug up the hole with the putty to make sure that there is no leaks from here so all the air is going to where it's supposed to be. And I think when you put the gauge pod in and put the gauge in, you have to plug that inside as well. Let's take a quick look at what I'm talking about. You got to plug this hole as well to make sure that there's no air, cold or warm, that is actually going into the actual gauge, because I think that could interfere with the operation of the gauge. So that is what the putty is used for. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is another way. We are definitely going to still have to drill through this, but it's still good I took this out, because after I drill I have easier access to kind of vacuum out the bits and the pieces of plastic. So what I would suggest next, guys, is kind of route and visualize where you're going to drill the hole. And for me, I'm going to just make a quick mark on the point as a guide on where I want to drill it, and then we can continue with that. Guys, once you're through the plastic, you can kind of move it around a little bit to enlarge the opening to support the plug point going through. For you guys that don't trust your drilling ability, you can always put some cloth or some microfiber rags around here to kind of protect the surface, just in case you slip with the drill. So you guys want to test fit it to make sure it does go through before we continue with the rest of the installation. Alright, so I drilled through it, as you can see, and we have got the wire through it right here. Like I said, make sure you have enough clearance to get this plug through. And for me, I just kind of fed it from underneath, felt around, and poked it through. And we are good to go. So guys, before you continue, I highly suggest you just clean this out, get this out of here, and when we get everything kind of fitted, we can start plugging this hole here before we attach it to the pod and the gauge. Alright Alright, so now that we've cleaned that out and you confirm it does actually fit, obviously guys, you can tell that this plug is pretty massive. So to get it to fit through here is going to be a little bit challenging. So my suggestion, guys, is to route it from obviously this side. You can route it through here. Okay, and let me just grab this. Okay, and now that we have this, we can route it up, sorry, under and over, and through this hole here. So guys, I think the easiest way to do this, because obviously you need to use the putty to fill in the hole so that you know, air doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. My suggestion is you take the wire and you put it through the pod first, and I would connect it right up to it first. Okay, so once that's connected, you can kind of get a feel for it. So you know how much slack you need. At the end of the day, guys, this does come with a double-sided piece of tape. I accidentally lost it. I'm not sure where I put it. Luckily, I got some 3M around, so not a huge deal. So just, you know, just for mock-up, just put it in here, and you know how it fits. And the slack over here on the other side is not a huge concern, but what this enables you to do once you mock it up like this is you can put the putty from underneath here to seal this off, and you can also have the space to put the putty on the other end where you drilled through. So once you do that and you fill both holes, you can, you know, push this vent piece in, and honestly it's just a matter of, you know, tucking in your wire in here and maybe zip tying it, and guys, you are good to go. All right, so that is just a quick example of the putty job I did for the gauge pod and the wire. Maybe a little bit of an overkill, but I just wanted to make sure that no air passes through that right to the gauge. So I'm going to do something similar right to the other end over here. Just put your double-sided tape around the edges and fit it accordingly into the pod. Alright, so this is pretty much all mocked up and fitted. I put the putty on the inside part of the gauge, as well as the where the wire goes through where we drilled. And basically all I did here, I just zip tied some of the wiring so we can easily tuck it away. And there is actually as little slack as possible, just so when we plug it in, it looks clean. And obviously you can just tuck the rest in underneath if it has too much slack. So guys, that's about it. I'm gonna put the panel back in here. I'm gonna this one should just snap right in. All right guys, so the pod is in with the gauge, and let's just take this moment to take this in. Look how clean this looks, guys. I'm really digging the look, man. It's just seamless. It looks really OEM plus, and it doesn't like stick out like a sore thumb. So guys, if you're looking for that OEM plus look, I think I highly suggest you go with the gauge pod they do sell. It is totally worth every penny. Now I'm gonna plug this in, and let's take a look at first startup, guys. This is R line. I know that you can actually switch this over to have like an S logo on it. I'm going to reach out to Aeroforce and ask them about that. Okay guys, just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up a few parameters to be shown and displayed on the gauge. Like I mentioned, I'm actually going to show another video showing the full functionality of the gauge, as well as my top favorite features. Now, we're at the menu here. You can press the right button to scroll through the menu to see the different sub-menus. So we just want to view a few parameters. So we're going to go to the parameters menu, and we're going to press both buttons to open it up. My car is not a 2015, so I'm going to select no. Press both buttons. And here, guys, you can select a few parameters that you want to display. So for me, as you can see, I have ticked off the boost actual and the air fuel ratio. So how you can select this on the menu is just pressing both buttons. For example, like if I press both here, It selects that, and you can unselect it by pressing both. Now when you selected a few, you're going to press and hold both buttons to exit the menu. Okay, and there you go, guys. I have my boost and my air fuel ratio. Let's just start the car real quick. As you can see, it's working. And honestly, guys, I apologize about the video. The display is a little blown out, but I can assure you in person it is very, very clear and easy to read. Alright guys, that pretty much concludes this video. Very easy mod, but however, a very powerful mod to add to your vehicle. So guys, like I said, quick installation video, and the next video, look out for it, guys. I'm going to show you all the features and some of my favorite features. So, thanks again to Aeroforce for a great product, and guys, thanks for joining in. Hit that subscribe button, and guys, we will catch you with our next mod. Take care.